Hi, thanks for joining me at this year's Advocacy Awareness Week. I wanted to do a little talk about one of the underpinning principles. And person-centered is just the best principle, I think, in independent advocacy. How marvellous is it that we can truly walk the walk with our partners, really appreciate their world and spend our time and focus about their goals and outcomes and what makes somebody happy and fulfilled and have a sense of purpose. What better principle for us to think about? So there are two things when we think about person-centered I'd really encourage you to think about. One is the type of advocacy and one is the type of advocate. So let's have a little think about the type of advocacy. And in this kind of sphere of thinking about being person-centered, I'm going to offer to you the two phrases transactional advocacy or relational advocacy. Now, most people want relational advocacy. Most people tell us that what's important is that the advocate knows them, understands them, appreciates their world. And this is particularly true in non-instructed advocacy, isn't it? You know, you need to build up a picture of the person's world, and that takes months, possibly even years. So sometimes in advocacy, we need to invest in the long term. And this is a message for the managers. Managers, please protect your advocates so that they can do that, so that they're not constrained by pressures of the service to close and withdraw their involvement. When somebody needs a long-term relationship with their advocate, protect that. Give them space. Trust your advocates to know that that's what they need. Being person-centered is not about delivering a service, is it? Being person-centered is about being the person's advocate. So that's kind of what most people want. But there are some people actually who want transactional advocacy. So, you know, transactional advocacy is the type of advocacy we might describe where it's very, very focused on an outcome. The person comes to you with a very, very clear idea about what they want. They might be like laser focused on you. Can you get me? Can you get me what I want, what I need? And they're less worried about the relationship. They're less worried about, less interested in trust and rapport building. They just want the outcome. Now, for some people, that's great. So when we're being person-centered, that's kind of the type of advocacy, isn't it? We want to be thoughtful in which one we're stepping into, which path we're going down. And then the second idea I wanted to raise on this Advocacy Awareness Week, getting back to principles, is the type of advocate that people need. And I think the more I spend in advocacy and working with people who I kind of come into contact with, I'm learning that actually it's sometimes different. You know, the same person might need you to show up very differently. And I'm thinking of people I've worked with and come to know, where on some occasions, like on some days, they need me to be really gobby. They need me to be defending them. They need me to be fighting for them. They need me to be very vocal and to be holding a line of what isn't okay and what is okay. So for that person on that day, you know, we're tapping into skills perhaps of like expert mastery communication, being brave, having courage, challenging, knowing the law, those types of things. The same person on another day might need you to be absolutely quiet. What they need from us is a quiet sense of, I've got your back. They don't need you to say anything in the meeting, actually. They've got it. What they need from us is confidence, trust, preparation beforehand, a friendly space. But they don't need you to be vocal. And if anything, if we go into that arena being the gobby advocate, then inadvertently we kind of undermine that person's power. We undermine their ability and opportunity to speak up. So as we're thinking about person-centered and being person-centered, those are the things I would ask you to think about, even the next 10 minutes. How do you know that you're being person-centered? How do you know kind of which type of advocate to be on that day? How are you showing up for that individual? Have a great Advocacy Awareness Week.